Hey everybody, it's Liz, and I'm glad to be back. I feel like I've been MIA for a while. You guys won't believe what a crazy couple weeks it's been, seriously. I had a commissioned order for this gentleman. I was creating a memory book for his wife's 50th birthday. And it was kind of funny because I had been working on it for, quite some time, but before I really started, I wanted to basically what I did is I created like several simple layouts so that he can take a look at them first before I put them in his book. And it was so funny because the layouts were as plain as can be. I mean, very simple, non-dimensional, because they have to fit in those sleeves or whatever in the book so it can close. And he was actually, like, he liked it and everything, but he wanted me to make it more simple, which was really funny because I thought that was simple as it was. I think you guys understand what I'm talking about, but it was so weird. So I have to kind of shut it down, the creativity to make these pages so simple as they could be. It was so weird. So after I finished with his project, but that's what he wanted. So after I finished with his project, I couldn't come up with anything. It was just like the weirdest thing. I think you guys know, but like, when you've lost your mojo. So for like 2 weeks after, I wanted to create something so bad, and I just couldn't. No matter what I did, nothing seemed to pop into my head. So I was just like, oh my god, what happened? I shut down my creativity so much, and now I can't turn it back on. But anyways, I've got a project to share with you guys today because, like I said, I've been itching to craft. Nothing's come up until, this one little thing that I had to create, get it out of my system and really get started on it. And I had started with, let me show you, because I'm kind of just babbling right now. This is my project, you guys. This is what I came up with after 3 weeks of not creating anything and dumbing it down to make a memory album, and oh my gosh, I was just itching to create something. This is a shadow box, gear shadow box that you can find in Slawcrafter's shop. The little MDF, you put it together and everything. It's very, very simple to put together, you guys. But let me tell you what happened with this. I put it together, and I had chosen a different paper collection to to adhere to my box. And even after I adhered the paper, just nothing. It's like my mind was just blank. I couldn't think of anything. I was so frustrated with myself. And then I finally said, you know what? I know what I have to do. I've got to just do some Graphic 45. When I look at Graphic 45 papers, I don't care what collection it is, it just seems like to spark the creativity in me, and that's what I have to do. So I had to switch out the papers on this thing to use Graphic 45, and after that, everything just kind of fell into place. So I'm so glad that I was able to create something and just get it out of my system. And like I said, this is basically, it's the little shadow box gears from Slawcrafter's shop, and I turned it into a Steampunk Debutante shrine. Isn't it cute? So it's basically a little shrine to a little Steampunk Debutante right inside. Awesome. And of course, that's the paper collection that I used, you guys. I always get inspired by this collection. I think it's such a wonderful collection. I really love it. Let me just kind of show you an overview of the whole little shrine, and then I'll go into detail as to how I created it. Okay, really pretty. I thought it came out really cool. And like I said, the shadow box frames from Saw's shop are very easy to put together. I did reinforce mine with a little bit of glossy accents, in the little pieces where they connect, just so I know it wasn't going to fall apart. But once I did that, then I adhered all my papers on there. I adhered papers on the inside. Let me see. I know it's going to be a little bit hard for you guys to see on the inside, but inside the little shrine, everything is covered with different papers from the collection. And I did a ton of fussy cutting. I don't know if you guys are able to see, but all the little different images, there's flowers, that little light bulb. Everything in here is all fussy cut from the collection. You would think that's a single piece right there, but it's not. It's a bunch of fussy cut images that I kind of layered together. Look how cool, right? And she's beautiful. I love her. I've got her popped up on some dimensional foam squares to make her stand out. She looks really cool. And there's a little fussy cut butterfly down there. For the bottom, I wanted to create a sort of like a layered look. I hope you guys are able to see that. But I've got some flowers that were fussy cut from the Steampunk Debutante collection. I've got, a gear, and I think it's like a watch. There's a couple of images over here, a little postage stamp and some flowers. There's also a butterfly in there. There's a little metal gear in there as well. There's a lot of things inside, and I know with the lighting, it is really hard to see in there. but in person you can definitely see, and I think it came out really cool. As far as like this metallic look that I got on the gears, I basically used a couple of different metallic paints that I had in my stash. For this one, the big gear, I used a puffy paint. It's just a little puffy paint that you use. I think it's Tulip. I think that's the brand. And I just used my fingers and I dabbed all of the gears using this puffy paint. Well, different colors, of course. I wanted some bronze, some silver, some antique gold. So I've got, just kind of dabbed it on there real good. And I used my heat tool to make it puff up and get all, dimensional. And then I went ahead and rubbed some black gesso over that as well. And then after that, I gave it another coat of that puffy paint. And again, I used my heat tool to create that really cool texture. So look at the gears, they're awesome. I think they came out really, really nice. And of course, I've got all the metals. So, you've got the silver and the gold and then some copper or bronze. Came out really cool. Love it. And then of course the entire box is covered with the Steampunk Debutante papers. Even the front right here, these little panels. And let's see, let me show you the sides. I think the sides came out really cool. I layered 2 pieces of pattern paper over the other, and then I did a lot of fussy cutting from one of the pages. All this is fussy cut, and it's not all one piece. It's several, like this is one piece, I think this is another, these are different pieces. I kind of wanted to create a collage from the different fussy cut elements from the paper, and then I just adhered them on there. And I think it looks really cool. It sort of reminds me of almost like tattoo art, There was that guy that came out with, all those t-shirts a while back, the tattoo art t-shirts. It sort of reminds me of that, that feel, I think it came out really cool. So I've got that on there. The other side is basically the same thing, just a bunch of fussy cut elements from one of the papers that I kind of layered on top of one another to create a sort of a collage. I think it came out really cool. I love it. And I love how it kind of stands out from the paper behind it, It sort of blends but stands out at the same time. I did ink all of my edges with black soot just to make them pop more. It turned out really cool. And then I guess I didn't finish telling you on the front what I did. Again, it was a lot of fussy cutting. I fussy cut a lot of flowers, and some of them I adhered on here with some foam squares to make them, pop. These were all little fussy cut. They're almost like little berries. See, we got some of those over here. Some fussy cut leaves, and again all the flowers. Same thing over here. I just wanted to create a cluster of flowers using, the fussy cut papers. And then there's a little butterfly right on top of that rose. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to challenge myself with this particular shrine and basically just really use paper to decorate my shrine. As you can see, there's not really a whole lot of other embellishments. The paper itself served as my embellishments, using butterflies and the flowers and all the little die cut, not die cuts, but little fussy cut images. I think really accent my little shrine really nicely. Up here I've got another butterfly and some more flowers up here. This here is one of those Tim Holtz pediments, and I used some chipboard to cut it out. I actually cut out three chipboard pieces. I glued them all to one another. That way it could be nice and sturdy. Let me see if I could show you. See, so it's nice and thick. And then again, I've used some of that bronzy puffy paint, some black gesso, some more puffy paint. I used my heat tool. It created these really cool little peaks on the paint. And you could still see some of the detail, the lines, and then some of that black gesso kind of popping out from the background. It came out really nice, and it gives it such a metallic look and kind of grungy at the same time. So it came out really cool. And let me see what else. I did cover the bottom, and let me tell you about these feet. These are really cool. These are empty bullet casings, you guys. Look how awesome. I used those as feet for my steampunk shrine. And what I did is, these are just, my husband likes to go shooting. I mean, we are from Texas, so, we all have guns and we all go shooting and stuff. I don't hunt, that's something I am totally against, but I like to go to, the firing range and just kind of blow off some steam and hit a target. That's always fun. So we always save the bullet casings, and they come in handy. Look how cool. So I've got hundreds of them. And I used this one, these are feet. And all I did is kind of painted them with that puffy paint and that bronze color. Added some black gesso with my fingers to grunge them up again, and then some more puffy paint. So it gives it a sort of really grungy, bronzy, metallic look. Came out awesome. I love it. And I think it's different to use, you know, the little bullet casings as feet on your little box. I think it came out cool. And it sort of goes with the steampunk vibe, I think. But yeah, it came out really cool. Anyways, let me show you the back. The back is pretty simple. You know, I did cover everything with the Graphic 45 Steampunk Debutante papers, of course. And this is one of the Steampunk Debutante frames. Look how pretty. And all I did is I just cut it out. I adhered it on here. I love the image of that girl. She's beautiful. And I really didn't do a whole lot over here, but added some little metal gears. These are little Tim Holtz gears. I added those to her hair. I added a little bit of glossy accents to this eyeball. I hope you guys are able to see that. I just think it's sort of creepy how it's like looking at her, but you know, I made it look more realistic by adding the glossy accent, so it looks really cool. And then down here is just a little fussy cut butterfly that I added to the little flowers down at the bottom. It's very simple, but you know, pretty. And so that's my back, and here you can see the top of my shrine. Again, I did paint the back of this chipboard pediment here, and I used some more fussy cut leaves and the little clocks. And like I said, this is all like maybe 4 or 5 different images, just fussy cut from the paper and sort of layered over one another, kind of overlapping to create this sort of, you know, like a tattoo art kind of feel. I think it came out really cool. So I've got that, and all my edges are, you know, inked with black soot to make them stand out. And pretty cool, I think. Oh my gosh, you guys won't believe how bad I needed to make something, you know. I mean, I've just been so busy. The kids are off from summer school, or, you know, they're off from school. I've been working so many hours, which is good. I've had a couple of incidents happen. Some of you may know my house started to get flooded. We had some 3 days of torrential rain here in Houston, you guys. And one morning I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to find a ton of water in my home. And it came in on the side of the house where I have like this big storage closet under my stairs, and that's where I keep all my craft supplies. I have never woken up so fast in my entire life. I ran in there to try to save all my things. It was the craziest morning ever. I never worried about flooding. I don't know why. I'm one of those people I worry about fires. Fires are one of my biggest fears because, you know, fires destroy everything, but I never thought water would be an issue, you know. But I managed to save most of my things. I did lose a couple of photos that I had, and you know, those cardboard photo boxes, and of course those got ruined, but I managed to save everything else, so I was very thankful that things didn't get worse. But like I said, it's been so crazy, but I've just been kind of MIA, and I do want to apologize for that. Lost my mojo a couple weeks, and I guess I'm sort of back now. So this is my first project back. I hope you guys like it. It is a little different and quirky, or whatever you may want to call it, but I was inspired by, you know, just the Graphic 45 Steampunk Debutante. It's one of my favorite collections, and I always get inspired just looking at the papers, and I was itching. I just had to make something, so here it is. Anyways, guys, I hope you like it. I had a lot of fun making this. I was so glad to get back into it, and hopefully you'll be seeing some new projects really soon from me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I really, really, truly do. I really thank you for your sweet comments, and, you know, definitely, you know, staying on board with me, even though I've been sort of missing for a couple of weeks. But I really appreciate it, you guys. And thank you so much. I will see you all real soon. Bye-bye.